All right, guys, what's up? It looks like we are live. Say hi when this comes up for you. I'd love to hear where you are tuning in from right now. Awesome. Cool, so we are trying to get this working where myself and Marci Locke are going to jump on together. So let's see, I need to figure out. Marci, make sure you write lots of comments when you are on. We haven't done a split screen live stream before, guys, so we are going to figure out how to do this. Okay, I'm following my instructions very carefully here from my team. Okay, let's see. Morning, Marissa. Morning, what's up? Okay, I can see lots of people on here. Amazing. Hey, guys. Where are you tuning in from? Okay, I'm waiting for Marci to jump on the line. I'm going to send her a quick message, actually. I'm going to send her a really quick message and be like, I'm on! Come and join us! How are you guys? Where are you tuning in from? Where are you right now? What's up, Marissa? What's up, Sam? Yes, I am landscape. Correct. Marissa, have you done this? You can help me do it. Amazing. Hey, Allison. Awesome. What's up? Rob Williams is on the line. Awesome. Allison, you're in Austin. That's so cool. Ronald, hey, what's up? How are you? Hey, James. What's up from the UK? Awesome to have you here. Hi, Amanda. We have our call soon. I'm excited about that. Sup, Bo. Hey, Ali. Great to have you here. I'm in Queenstown, New Zealand right now. Can you believe it? In the snow. Loving it here. Gayla, how are you? Awesome, guys. I'm going to send Marci a message and be like, what's up? We're on. Okay. Marci, you're here. All right. Here's the test. Marissa, I may need your help. Okay, I'm looking for Marci's name. Why can I not see it in the live viewers? Here we go. Okay, plus 16. Let's see if we go through this way. Okay, Marci, I can see your comments. Let's see if I can do it this way. Gosh, there is a little invite button. I can see I could invite a lot of other people to come and play right now. Let's see if I click on your name. No, block Marci Locke. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to delete your comment. Let's see. Hey, Steph, what's up? Yeah, it doesn't say invite her on her comment, Marissa. Any other suggestions? Marci, is your... wouldn't matter if your phone's landscape. You're on your personal page. I'm trying to think what else. Marissa, if you've got any ideas, let us know. We are going to get this rocking, guys, I promise. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Okay, I'll try again by swiping the names this way. Let's have a look. Hey, Amanda, what's up? Hey, Susie. Awesome to have you guys here. Yeah, look, it's saying that I can invite probably about 15 people that are on to come and join, and then there's a stack of people that are just here that I can't invite, which is kind of odd. Marci, I'm wondering if maybe... Thanks, Steph, you're onto it too. Cool. Marci, I'm wondering, do you have the latest app on your Facebook, on your phone rather, your Facebook app? Let's see... yeah, interesting. Some of the people, it's coming up with a little video button and it says I can invite, but not you. Okay, let's see. Okay, cool. I think Marci's updating her Facebook app. I like Marissa's strategy. Start it again and ban everyone from commenting except for Marci. Yeah, we could use Believe, Susie. We just really want to get this working on Facebook. I'm super excited about trying to get this Facebook Live rocking. We have so much to share with you guys. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for Marci, she's going to try, Marissa, she's going to try and update her app and see if that makes any difference, which I have a feeling that it might, because I updated mine and now mine looks a little bit different. So guys, today we're talking about expansion, we're talking about receiving, we're talking about manifestation. So I would love to hear from you guys. What questions do you have around this? We're going to be digging in, we're going to be having a really beautiful conversation about this. Whenever Marci and I get together, there is an epic amount of flow which comes in. Marci Locke joined. Invite. I see you. Invite to be a guest. I think we have done it. Have done it. Maybe. Let's see. Invite. Marci? Okay.
Yeah!
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we're such fucking manifestors.
Okay, now I need my volume
We
up.
love technology. Hang on.
Yay!
Can you hear me? Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
yeah, I've got you.
I just celebrated, but I was on mute. I was like, yay, we're fucking manifestors. We love technology, right? I'm like, where's a team when I require it?
It's so funny. I know. I've got like 4 of my team on here. They're all like, we're looking it up. We're looking it up.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm
So
like,
funny.
It's okay. Perfect.
So funny. Yay,
I'm sure you already had
yeah.
some fun. You already had some awesomeness going on where you're like, where's Marci?
I know. It was all these other people. It was like, invite me, invite me. I'm like, none of you are Marci.
Wait a minute. Marci's coming. I know it. See, you got my back, girl. I got yours. It's how we roll.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect.
I love it. So funny. Yay. It looks beautiful. You're in your home.
Yeah.
You've right now.
You've been here. You get to stay here, gosh, in a couple weeks, right? You're
Really
staying here when I'm in New York, and then you'll be back, of course. So much fun and play. I'm excited.
So excited. So excited. Yes. Katie said, badasses, this is awesome. What's up? What's up, Andrew Miller? It's so cool. So amazing.
I'm going to pop this in so I can hear you better.
Yeah, you go for it. You go for it. How is, actually, that might be good. I might do exactly the same thing.
You're just so fucking sexy. I love you.
So do you. We always do. We both do.
Right? I know. Reflections, love and light. All there is. It's so
all
great.
of that. Here we go. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, so good.
Yay. Oh, that's better. Better. Amazing. Barbara, hola, hola. Great to have you here.
Aw.
So cool. So can you see all the comments and everything from your end too?
There's a bunch. I only see like 1 or 2 in front of me, but there's a bunch that I'm sure that have already gotten up there. Let's see. Yeah, we got lots of beautiful peeps. Some of my
Yay!
peeps are on here. Amazing. Love it.
Yay, that's so
Only the
cool.
best.
Only the best.
We can dance.
We can definitely
Actually,
dance.
Regan and I like to move. It's so true.
We do love to move. A lot.
Cool, babe. So we're talking manifestation, we're talking receiving, we're talking expansion. We're obviously looking at the result of living a very beautiful, badass life as yourself and all that we get to do in that. Where do you want to go with this? What is it?
Well, yeah, I feel like, I mean, we could go definitely in 1,000 different directions. And I feel like quickly we should, we should say what's up to each other's live streams because everyone might not know everyone, which is pretty cool. Hey, Matt. Hey, Lily. Awesome to have you here.
The one thing we do know is that we both obviously only attract the badasses, the unicorns, the Jedis, the ninjas, the game changers.
Blatantly obvious in the comments down here.
Right? Yeah, the people that are like, I like the cray cray. If you do cray cray, I do cray cray. I mean, if you like cray cray, you are in the right place.
Exactly. It's like, what are you talking about? You talking about magic? I'm in.
Yes.
It's so cool. It's so cool. So Marci and I connected, I guess fairly recently, but time obviously doesn't exist. And so it's been a total time warp. It feels like years and years and years and years. And we connected online initially. And then when we met in person, it was literally just like, bing, I know this person. I already madly love this person. And this person obviously needs to be shared with the world with all the epicness that she's doing. So this is so exciting. Anna says, we're just as crazy as you two. We love your crazy. Absolutely. We feel you.
That's why you're
we
here.
Feel you.
Perfect, beautiful reflection.
Exactly. It's so cool. And I guess what I love about both of us, because obviously loving on yourself is vital when it comes to receiving, is that, you know, we both get to create some really cool change in the world, and we both live totally amazing lives, totally on our terms. We help a whole lot of people. We make a whole lot of money, make a whole lot of impact in the process, and have a hell of a good time.
I know, right? Yes, that's a heart comment right there. You're like, all that good stuff, that's what, you know, I believe gets to be the new norm. Obviously, there's so much shifting going on. And can you guys, I have someone in the back that just started doing landscaping, so I might get a move.
We love
hear
it.
that? Are you good?
We love it. No, you're good. No, you're fine.
Okay. But what I like, obviously there's so much shifting going on in the world right now, which everyone's seeing, like feeling kind of like a victim to circumstance, to the weather and all sorts of things. And this is the shift of the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension. This is really like, we get to go from the, what society is considered as normal, which I believe is just broke ass mindset, lack, scarcity, poverty consciousness, to what you're talking about and what we live in is the example of the new normal. When we stand in truth of our divinity and who we are, and we're in this knowingness of the unique sovereign being that we are, there is nothing you can accept and receive other than what reflects light.
Exactly.
This is even light, because you know that that's something you called in and attracted as well. So, you know, I just honor you so much, babes. I remember when I met you, I was like, oh my God, she's me. Like, like, it was so beautiful to see someone who was living in that amount of light and love and truth and just knowingness, where, you know, we get to coach a lot of the influencers and the people to get to that total space of creating that as a result and being in that. And you're just such a, like, I was just like, yes, I love seeing another powerful, beautiful being standing in that place and showing people. So it's like, how many more of those can we get to stand and say, like, me too, me too, me too, because it's a we together in our truths and our love and our light and the frequency that we get to share with. We can soul split our consciousness with the humanity now, and changing the mutation of ourselves to be like, oh, this is what feels normal, is to feel being awesomeness all the time, to feel myself, my soul being filled with love and light, to be who I am, not to like, it's not to like seek who I am, it's to be who you are, to know who you are. And society is like, oh, when I get enough knowledge, when I do enough things, when I do that, then I'll know that. And that's a complete out of alignment of integrity of who you are in the first place, is you know, being in this space.
Exactly. Guys, loves. We need loves for that. Like that was just like epic love bombs. Like if you just heard that, like
you and I are channels. We just like
right.
You go, then I'll go. Yeah, totally.
Marissa says so much yes to this soul split our consciousness. Absolutely. Leonie says to the new normal. I love it. Yes, so there's all the love. Thank you so much. Okay, we can see that. And I love what you were saying. And it really is about remembrance at the end of the day. It's not about looking outside. It's not about trying to figure out something different. It's not about becoming something you're not. It's simply activating what is already within you. You know, this is the core of it. And here's the thing, if you're sitting here watching this right now, and if there are elements of us where you're drawn to it, or you feel like, wow, I love that, or I see that light, or I love that energy, or I would love to live a life like that, or I get that, if any of that is going on for you right now, it's because it's within you. Otherwise, get off the live stream. Like, you don't get it, and that's fine. But the majority of you are typing in being like, oh my gosh, you guys are amazing beings. That's because you are an amazing being, right? You can't see what's in other people unless it's within you. And so much of this, when it comes to opening up and expanding and receiving more and manifesting whatever the hell you want, it comes into remembrance. It comes into tapping into the zone of going, wow, you know what? I see you, I acknowledge you, and you have that, and I love that, and I honor that, and thank you for being a mirror and actually showing me that, right?
Yes. I love that you brought that to presence, because self-realization, we get so many people that are like, oh, if I go, you know, become a yogi and sit on a mountaintop or do certain things, like I'm going to self-realize. And it's such a funny thing.
In a cave.
Actually, yeah, right. Like, okay, so when you're protected from society and no triggers and nothing to deal with at all, I can be at peace and self-realize. And this is a lot of times about, like, you know, the environments that we're in, when the truth is you can only self-realize by seeing yourself in another. So this is what's so great. Regan, you know this. It's like you can probably have a conversation with somebody and right away, like you hear and you can tell their belief systems, their identity patterns, their programs, what they're operating out of, just from the words that are coming out of their mouth and the things that are reflecting out of them. And so what's beautiful is, like, when you're operating like you are, where it's like, we're just, I mean, I walk around constantly and I'm like, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You're beautiful,
right.
beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love you. Oh, that's a great genius. That's a great genius. I'm like the complimentary junkie,
right?
Because all I see now is amazingness and beautiful and like love and light, and even people in their darkness I see out of like love and light for what they're choosing and what they're experiencing, because I was once in that place. Yet when we're in a place of having any judgments, anything outside of ourselves, projecting at all, and it's not out of acceptance, because love is acceptance of all things. Isn't that funny? Where we go, oh, and you know, if I could only be loved, if I act this way, I'll be loved. If I do this, I'll be loved. If I just, like from the time we're little, is when actually love, did you know that the color, I think it's the color white, is the combination of all colors. Just like love is a combination of all things. When we can say, I love every bit of me and every source of my being, every experience I've ever had, the one tip I would, like when I get asked all the time, I'm sure you get asked this too, you're on like a podcast or something and they're like, what's the one thing, right? Like, what's the one thing that's going to change everybody's lives right now? And I'm like, I could even give you one thing to really just hold and really like allow to integrate in your being. It would be to love everything that you've ever experienced and everything that you're experiencing right now. To just love, to seeing it through. And when you do that, you end up being, which is what we're living and operating in, where you're just like, everything that you see outside of you, your self-realization is what you've realized inside of you. So if you're experiencing right now, someone saying, having, when you see it in another, as you just said, you can only see it in another because it is still within you, and it's something you either get to love or accept or and allow and surrender and lean into. And when we do that, that darkness becomes light. And then you're just this being of light, like you are, walking around like bing, bing, bing. Oh, effortlessly manifest, effortlessly receive. I only accept the best, because there is nothing outside of you in what you created. You see all things as a part of all things inside you.
Exactly. Oh, I love you too. I'm just like loving on your love. It's amazing. It's so cool. And I love that on interviews, it's like, that is the one thing. It really comes down to love and connecting with that and realizing and remembering that you simply are that. And for me, that is one of the biggest like secrets or keys. I'm always asked as well, like, what's the secret to receiving more? Like, what's the big thing, right? And if you really ground into what Marci just said, like ultimately that is how you can have it all in your life. That's how you can tap into receiving all of it and more. And trust me, there's and more surprises coming away if you tap into this place, right? And the key around this, I think some people get a little bit lost because they see what we're talking about and they're like, okay, I'll just be love. Like, I'll just be really positive and just like sit here and just like radiate love. And it's all just going to show up. In fact, it's knocking on the door right now. It's just here. And it's like, no, like you have to do the work as well, right? You really need to tune in and you need to do the work. And the work when it comes to expanding and when it comes to receiving more is having a look at where is there not light in your being. Where is there currently not light in your essence? And really looking at where are these little shadows so that you can shine light onto them, so that they can be filled with light, so that you can increase your capacity to be and hold light. And so when you're looking externally again and you see someone and someone triggers something in you and you're like, oh, that person's just so inauthentic, or whatever it is that you're annoyed about, it's like, okay, love on them. But then it's like, okay, where am I not being entirely authentic? Where is it in me across the board in my life where I'm not showing up in this way, which I know is a better way? And the moment you see that, catch that, you pull that darkness out, and then all of a sudden the light's like, because you have awareness on it, which increases your ability to tap into love and light, which then of course just naturally expands you into receiving more, right? Because you can't receive more if you're in a place of contraction and you're not willing to do the work. You have to open up and really embody the light instead of just like talking about it and being like, I am the light and the love. No. Be it. And that is part of being it. It's about doing the work, right?
Well, and I love that you said you get to expand versus contract. It's so funny how people, like when they approach like their money mindset, it's like, society has taught us, we look at everything through lack and scarcity. How do I do less? How do I control my budget? How do I do that? Instead of expand into my greatness. You like how I like forced open the boobs there, so I have like big voluptuous ones like you, right? Like, how do I expand into more of who I am, into receiving more, into being more light, into being more love? That then, I always say that money and the amount of money that you're receiving anyways is just it's just a reflection of the amount of value you're creating for the world and how much you love yourself. So if you're having money issues, it's simply your inability to receive. It's not the strategy, it's not the et cetera.
Exactly.
Yeah, something that you said that was really powerful is even, and I want people to get this, because this is where so many people in self-empowerment, and I believe 19 out of 20 people that are operating in the patterns and programs or what we're taught in surface self-empowerment are actually failing. 19 out of 20, and these are the people that are, because we're operating on such a surface understanding, and we're applying just simple tools. You and I, Regan, we know if we talk about all of our experience, like how we've gone into expansion, into like really diving deep into ourselves, and it's not work, it's actually freedom. right? But most
Exactly.
people are like, okay, well, I'll do what you said. I'll just envision love. But yet they're not actually tuning into what's the feeling going inside in them. How have they accepted it? How has that served them? What is it? What's the feedback that they're learning from? Where's the patterns and behaviors showing up in their life that they get to switch and be a different person? So they're being light, not force feeling light, just like forcing a thought, like, oh, let's think the thought and the mantra of like, I'm this and I'm receiving love. And so I'm
I
receiving
am love,
love.
I am love, I am love, I am love, I
Right?
am love.
I am love, damn it. And people like me. What's that like from like Saturday Night Live years ago, right? Like,
Yeah.
and yet the feeling is like, I don't believe I'm loved. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy and deserving. I'll speak it, and I'm just using another behavioral human pattern to distract myself from what is really going on and keep me in the same cycle. So, when you say inner work or, doing the work, I see that now as like, I want people to hear that it's actually giving you freedom. There's no work involved when you look at each thing, and there's something too, it's not a trying. You're literally just like, it's like when you arrive at the place and you're owning who you are. And every single moment, we're just here to create and receive and to be and to learn and to grow. I actually shared something from like a year ago today on purpose, where it's like, I used to think, oh, well, I have this purpose I have to fulfill, and I'm here to change the world in this way. Actually, now I even know deeper than ever, the world's already been changed. Consciousness is awake and alive. We're simply here to remind you and remember how to deprogram, unlearn, untrain, and remember who you are. So it's really like seeing that there is, when you're in this place and there's no story, think about actually existing in this moment with no story, judgment, attachment, thought of how it should look and should be and what you need to do, etc. When you're just in this being, there's no trying. And that's where it is just becomes the being, and how we align to that remembrance of who you are. That's why we're talking about effortless. And people, I remember being like, I would have thought you were crazy. I'd have been like, effortless my ass. You know what I mean? Right? And now I'm like, I can't imagine anything but flow and ease and effortless. And so it really is allowing yourself. And maybe that's something that we get to look at too, is like, what are the ways that you have chosen to dive in and expand?
Yeah, totally. No, that's amazing. And I love that when you tap into all of this, and when you tap into flow states and super flow states, it's like this vortex, guys. And you have to realize that internally and energetically, you're spinning constantly, right? But you're spinning. You're never in standstill. So you can choose, like, you're either going to accelerate the spin up into a place of expansion and into a place of greater manifestation, greater flow, or to be honest, you're spinning the other way and you're getting more and more and more contracted. And this is why people think that they have to create and then work harder and harder and harder, because it becomes their reality, because they're on a flip spin basically. So sometimes you literally need to look at yourself and catch yourself and be like, okay, where am I at? Like, honestly, where am I at? Yes, my results might be, getting greater in my life, but ultimately, how are they coming? Are they coming from pushing, from working so hard and doing this, or are they coming from doing the inner work and actually releasing into this? But you need to be aware of which way you're spinning, right? We've got so many badass comments on here. People are just like loving on this. If you guys have questions around manifesting, around expansion, around receiving more, type them through, because we are here. We're here to play. We're here to serve you guys. Tammy says, so much gratitude and love for you two amazing goddesses. Shining and continue to shine light on my shadows is allowing me to learn and remember so much. You are amazing. So love this from Elizabeth. David, hey loves, looking positively radiant. What's up, Heather? Hey, John, great to have you here. James, amazing. All that love coming through, all those thumbs ups.
Right? And hearts. We love hearts, guys.
We do love hearts.
Talking about love, like, bring up some love. Yes.
There
Lots
it is.
To love. Yeah.
Truth bombs all day from Kelly.
when you're talking about this, Rig, it's like, I see this is where, a lot of the personal clients I work with, you work at clients at $500,000 plus level. I work at clients at $1 million level. And we're working with high level influencers that have created, a lot of what I see at least is high level influencers who have created wealth or they've created success, yet they're so fucking scared that if they get off that hamster wheel, everything is going to go. It's like it requires a certain amount of, continuing to run, etc. And this is the thing where it's like, well, you might be creating success in one aspect. If there is any trying or hard or force or fight, you're doing it all out of this energy. And that same pattern and behavior is across the board in your life. So it's funny how I'll see like people's, perceptions around it will be like, well, when I get that, then I can take the vacation with my kids. I can have the epic relationship. I can tune into my body, etc. And again, this is the old normal, which is like we're broken in some way. We're always striving to get to something and somewhere and something outside of ourselves. And yet there's always gaps in our life that are missing. It's like, well, you can build money, but your relationships have gone to shit.
Right.
You know? And this is something that I feel like is so important when we really understand, if we were in tune with the divinity of who we are, the knowing of who we are, you couldn't even speak negatively about yourself. If you were aligned to the integrity, the divinity of who you are, you couldn't even say, I'm not this, or I wish I was that, or when I can get that, or anything outside of you. Literally, and that's where it comes from. Knowing, yes, there's all these behavioral things to start to align those, and I believe a lot of it is the operating systems that we're in. Most people are like, I see the idea of it, but they're continuing to operate in behaviors that keep them from receiving it and from doing it. Yet there's this space for the high-level influencers to realize that it's when you're choosing in on that, like you were referring to, when you're choosing in on that energy, you're all you can attract is the same frequency. All you can attract is the business partners who will continue to have, miscommunications, struggles, maybe not do what they say. So you're running to keep it all together and keep it up. Same thing with, in any aspect of your life, when you finally choose, you tap in. And this is a question I'd pose for people is, sometimes when I've taught on abundance or money mindset, etc., I've simply asked the question, when's the last time you stopped to make money?
Yes.
And people are like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why would I stop? And how am I going to stop and make money and receive money? I have to go, do. And this is the crazy part, right? Is if you just stopped and you simply asked yourself the question, knowing again, all the things are within and available to you. You're the only one who can know what kind of life you want to live, how it gets to look, what's your perfect fit, etc. Just like Regan, you play all over the world, right? And we do these things based on what kind of design of giving my passion purpose do I love? If I stopped and said, how would I create the most value in my industry? Or how would I be, increase my customer service in my business, or be the number one in customer service in my business? And let me stop and meditate on that question. Let me actually stop and allow that question. And when we're silent and we can be, then all of a sudden, it's like, that's one of the aspects of my business that created millions, and is a whole, way that I'm serving the masses now came from me just sitting and meditating, and something was like, it's time to serve the masses. And I'm like, oh, interesting. What would that look like? And I allowed those things to come, which led me to the next thing. So how much more effective can we be when we're actually in that place of let me stop and let me ask the questions of what's inside us and all that's available around us to support us, and then receive that answer and go, ooh, so now I just do that and I'm super ass effective. Yes, super ass effective is a word.
I love it.
Versus be continuing to run every day in the same chaos, trying to create.
Right.
Stop.
Right. No, it's, oh my gosh, just yes to that. And once again, guys, hearts. that's a hard moment, right? And look, it's so crazy because, I get asked a lot around manifestation and obviously receiving more, especially receiving more money and what this looks like. And I feel like the majority of society is super, super, super addicted to trying to figure out how to make it all happen. And here's the thing is that they think they're actually doing it. This is the crazy thing. They think it's them. They really do. They think it's them and their little idea and all the work they have to do. And if you are able to just stop, like Marci was saying, and really upgrade your awareness to look at, wow, okay, what if it wasn't me? What if it was something coming through me? What if I was simply a vessel and I've actually put my hand up at some point and said, hey, you know what? I'm here to serve. I'm here to play a bigger game. I'm available. Please use me. And then you opened up to what needs to come through. All of a sudden, this is what starts accessing your superflow state. This is what starts getting you in this place where you have coincidences and synchronicity and things would just show up, right? Yeah. Because you're becoming available. But the number one manifestation killer is people looking at it going, it's me. I've got to push, I've got to make it work. I've got to ask how it's going to happen. I've got to control the process. I've got to write out a fucking plan. I've got to do all this shit, right? And then what they do is they focus on all that. And what this does is it basically contracts in their channel and it cuts their connection to source and everything else which is coming through. And it slows them the fuck down. Now, here's the trap, is that if you're a high achiever and if you have a big vision and if you know how to work, then you will actually still achieve amazing results, right? And so you'll sit down and go, you know, I made it work. Whoa, man, I'm like sweating, but look what I created. And I'm speaking from experience, guys. I did this for years and years and years, and I pushed and I worked hard, and I thought it was all about me, right? And I got amazing results, and people were like, wow, you're so successful, you're so this, you're so that. And then I realized that I was cutting my manifestation's ability and my manifestation magic, and I was only at like 10% of what I was truly able to actually call in and receive. And so for me, it's a constant game of really getting out of my own way and doing what Marci said, stopping to make money, stopping to receive, becoming available, realizing that I'm not in the driver's seat here. I've simply put my hand up as a willing and obedient servant, and I'm able to be obedient to what comes through, okay?
Yeah.
We've got so many comments on here.
When it comes through, though, that's what I love that you just jumped on, is like, so like I actually state that there's like kind of 4 stages of life experience that you're going through, where it's like, as a baby, as a child, right? It's like life happens as you. You're like, what is this? Do I like Legos? Nope, I don't like Legos. I like, you're here actually to create who you are, to discover who you are, what you love, what's the unique gifts about you, etc. Okay, and then we hit this space where all of a sudden, like maybe it's 2 years old, maybe it's earlier, where all of a sudden it's like, we're going here, you're going to the babysitters, I'm doing this, and it's like we feel like life happens to us, and we start to see life through victim of circumstance. You know, we're a victim to all things, like we have no control. And for those who choose to become awake and realize, you have the opportunity right now you're sitting here creating right in this very moment. Like that's what's so easy about it. Like Regan, I mean, even us, we're like, I mean, we just trust whatever comes through. I had a VIP yesterday that I worked with, and he's like, how do you structure this? And it's so funny. I've had some of the top internet marketers in the world as my personal clients, and they're like, how do you do email lists? I'm like, I don't. They're like, how do you do it? I'm like, I don't. Like, and so we're talking about how we make it so hard because we don't trust who we are and align to who we are and discover who we are. So we're like, what's the strategy? What's this? What's the system? What's the da-da-da-da? And what's funny is I still to this day have never done one paid ad or one target marketing. Clients paying over $1 million. And it's like, I always say, it's not the strategy, it's your internal alignment. So when we're just sitting here right now, and I want people to get this, okay? Just sitting here right now, what's happening inside you is that you have thoughts going, right? You have a perception about the world. You have your belief systems, your feelings that are exuding out. You have the words, your operating system, your languaging system that's speaking out and declaring things. Right now, just that is creating your entire world. Everything you're about to receive, you are creating right now in this moment just by sitting here. The frequency that you're vibrating and who you're being in this moment has nothing to do with, you know, a business structure, strategy, or a conversation. It's in this moment you're creating right now. Now, if you're sitting here feeling not enough, you're putting out this frequency. Now, what I'll do with a lot of high-level influencers and my personal clients is we get to find the unseen. And this is what I know you're talking about when we talk about, we dive into the allowance and the surrender of what's inside us that we get to clear to allow, then we're this clear channel. So let's say, for instance, when I was mentioning before how I received the information to, you know, again, coming through me of something I got to do that literally within 10 minutes created $1 million deal. I'm sitting, and now the human brain and in our human selves, not knowing and remembering our divinity and the knowing of who we are would have blocked it. The past me would have been like, so I had this download that was like, it's time to serve the masses. And I was like, oh, interesting. What would that look like? And it was like, call this person. And I was like, interesting. Okay. This person had been through my programs years before. If my human brain would have been like, why would I do that? What am I going to say? What are they going to think? You know, like I needed a plan. I had to know or think it through. And this is where we fuck ourselves over, guys. We try to think it through versus feel it through and be it through, be the person. And so I was like, okay, I instantly messaged the person. I'm like, hey, you just came to my mind. I'm just being authentic. I have no fucking clue why. You just came to my mind. Love to connect. They're like, hey, I'm open right now. Call this person, and within 10 minutes had the idea and the download of how to serve the masses in a whole nother way, and literally had $1 million deal just like that. And it wasn't the idea that was powerful. It wasn't the money that was like the, woo, I just, $1 million right there. It was, I mean, that's how easy money is. It's like breathing air when you're in tune and aligned. Yet it was the idea of how I could serve at a greater degree. Now, see, there was no try to that. There was no struggle. There was no, let me think this through now. You know, it's like there's simply when I'm in tune and in the process and the purpose of, I'm here to create my own happiness. I'm here to discover me. I'm here to see what feels good to me. And through the journey, like we've talked about, of our mess, of our the things that we experience, the things we called in to learn, we find our message, we find our gifts, we find our light. That's then so effortless for us to share. There is no trying to that. So when I was mentioning before the stages of life where it's like life happens as me, then life happens to me, you feel like a victim. Those who choose to realize I control my perceptions, I control, my thoughts, I control my words, I control how I choose to feel about things, how I control my being, the way that I'm living. That's life happens like from me. And that's, but most people stop there, Regan. And you were one of the few individuals why I was just like, I'm in love. Because those are most of the people that I even coach. The people are like, and those people joining us here, they're like, we want freedom. We know we're unicorns and we're fairies and we're here to create an influence. And we want that, yet we're in a place of like, life happens from me. And they're still in that place. That's a point of struggle. Still in that place, that's a point of like, I have to do it. It's from me. You're talking about when we go beyond that to life happens through me. When I love myself fully and I know that I am the creator of all things and I can surrender to what comes through. So I open the channel, and you and I are both open channels. Obviously, we had a whole fun channeling experience here. Is that letting that come through is when we go, ooh, this is what I mean about your real purpose is you being happy. When you go, this is what would feel good. Like when I'm on fire with something, because it's coming through me, I'm like, oh, I want to share, and see how easy that is to share. You and I have been like, we want to play like forever because we just felt so inspired and on fire with like all the gifts and truths we have coming together to share with these people, our brothers, our sisters, our humanity, of living the same place we are, and how they're kind of stuck at that life happens from me phase, and there's still a forced mindset and an energy to that instead of, when I go, ooh, this feels so good, like, and this is coming through me, this is what I want to share. See how effortless that is? There's no try or struggle to it. There's no plan. And the synchronicity, the magic shows up because it's like, oh yeah, everything just gets pulled together based on your frequency saying, ooh, this feels good, versus I have to figure this out. It's a big, huge difference.
Exactly. No, it's massive. It's massive. And I feel like there's so many people watching, listening to this, where it's like, this sigh of relief and this feeling of like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, even if you've never tapped into this before, even if this is brand new, technically, information for you, it's like, oh yeah, that feels right. That feels easy. That feels good, right? So give us some love if that is those feelings. Because often when you hear something new from the other side of this, right, it's kind of overwhelming. It's like, oh God, now it's this new strategy and I need to like learn it and figure it out, versus this conversation is like, oh yeah, that's my essence. That's my truth. That's why I'm here. It can be this easy. I can allow for it to be this easy. And guys, the big thing to know through all of this is that the world is trying to co-create with you. The universe wants you to have everything that you desire. It's your lover. It really is. It really, really, really is.
It just wants to love on you.
I know. And so many people think, the world's against them and all this stuff, when really you're against the world right now. Like, you need to tune in and actually align to the world. And you do that through raising your frequency. But the world is looking to hold your hand in this process. The world is looking to go, you know what? Thank you for showing up. And the more, here's the key, guys, the more that you show up, the more the world will respond. So the more that you go deeper into your purpose, the more that you declare, hey, here is my soul's mission, and this is what I'm here to do in the world, the more the universe will go, oh, okay, you're ready, you're putting your hand up. The more you say, hey, you know what, I'm open, I'm available, I'm here to serve, I'm here to receive it all, I'm here to play a bigger game, the world will go, oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Right, here you go. The more you do the inner work, the more you start to shift your vibration and raise your frequency, you'll start attracting people, things, elements, ideas, which are at this higher frequency, which allow you to tap into, once again, receiving more. And that's when the world goes, oh, okay, here we go. And all of a sudden, here's where the magic happens. When you start asking for all of this, when you show up in this way, when the world hands everything to you, once you embody it and act from that place, the world goes, oh, she gets it. Give her some more. Give her some more. Give it some more. Give her some more. right? And this is the difference between someone who gets this. You might be consciously getting this on this live stream. You might be feeling this, and you might go away and then completely ignore it after this, which is fine. That's a choice. But the world's going to go, oh, you don't really get it right now. You don't have the capacity to step into this bigger level, versus someone that turns this off, probably messages one or both of us and goes, hey, how do we do all this stuff, right? And which actually opens you up. That's you raising your hand and going, you know what, I'm here, I'm available, I'm here to serve, I'm open to receiving more. And trust me, the world's just trying to give it all to you right now. It's all trying to flow through.
Yeah, well, I have this beautiful analogy that someone told me a long time ago, which was like, you have like angels above you with buckets of gold. They're just like on top of you, like waiting till your frequency aligns to that, till you ask to be like, here you go. And so something that you said is when the everything's like right in front of you. So what's interesting is, of course, we're only going to see based on what's going on inside. So we see we're unworthy. You said you're against the world. When you think the world's against you, what you're really projecting out is the world's unsafe. All those things. And so when the opportunity might show up, you start shifting this vibration. And I love that we share a collective mind. We share our auras are actually interacting. We share a collective mind. The only way to rise above the collective and rise above actually in any circumstance is for you to rise your frequency above that. So if the situation shows up, and what you're talking about, Regan, is people will respond with the same old shit. They'll respond with the same old pattern, the same words, the same thought processes, instead of going, oh, that's right. Like, breathe. I get to lean in. This is my new norm. Oh, look at how I'm supported. And oh, how can I create this? And obviously, we've got steps and tools to doing this. We teach this, right, of how to actually operate in this way. So it's not just like, hey, just choose in. You get to choose in. Yet what I want people to hear is that when you choose, how you choose, is that even if you're looking at the next inch, we fuck ourselves over by being like thinking it's the big picture of like there's someone, I saw someone on here say, I'm really lost. And I can only feel so much love for them feeling like they feel lost, like they don't, and when everything is here within them, everything, home is right here. There's just that discovery and remembrance of that. And when they're maybe looking at you and they're like, how can I get to that? Now, what if it looks like crazy massive, right? When I was a $2 an hour waitress, I found out I had a cheating husband. I had a 1 and a 4-year-old to feed. I became a waitress at 28 years old because I was like so broken. I didn't know how I would survive and how I would feed my babies and take care of them by day. Paid a friend to sleep on my couch at night. And coming from that place, I could have never even an inkling imagined. I couldn't have imagined the inkling of a life that I live now. So the point is to actually look at the next inch. Even if you say, I'm going there, like I'm going to where you two are living and you guys are standing as examples. And I want you guys to hear this. If you're seeing us do it, you have an example now of it's possible.
Right.
Instead of looking for the evidence that it's not. Yeah. And so everyone's looking at like the norm of society.
Yeah.
And, the way society
Don't look at
operates. Why the fuck would we look over there? Because when you find yourself on the side of the majority, as Mark Twain says, it's time to pause and reflect. And but yet there's evidence for you. So if you see evidence, if you put your head down and look at the next inch, what's the next inch of possibility for me? How in this moment would I speak at a higher level than what is in front of me? If the circumstance shows up to me and somebody's being an asshole and I go, well, you're an asshole too, instead of like, thank you for, allowing me to see how I get to only attract the best. And I'm speaking a higher frequency and a higher response than this level. Same thing with my thoughts, same thing with my feelings. That is how you rise your frequency above the collective. And now you're attracting exactly as Regan's saying. So it doesn't take some big, huge thing and waiting for something to show up for you. It takes in this moment, what's the thought you're choosing? Even about yourself. If you catch yourself thinking a negative thought about yourself, like I'm lost. What if it was, I'm so excited to find more of who I am. I'm so excited to discover more of what I love. I'm so excited to see what this day could bring. That energy alone is an energy of faith, creation, excitement versus I'm this and I'm only going to look that I'm lost and feel that I'm lost. So notice, guys, in this moment, this very moment right now, you have all the power to just take an inch and rise your frequency. And imagine how fast your world and life can change when you're taking all those inches every single day. Every single day. So much. And that's why it's like, things can shift so quickly when you're looking internal, as Regan and I are talking about, and you're getting to the root of things instead of continuing to seek outside of you. looking for the answer from somebody else, what someone else is doing, and comparison, which is the thief of all joy outside of you. It's all right here available to you right now. That's how easy it is. That's really how easy it is.
Totally. Absolutely. Steph says, new normal with this emoji. Like, get away from the normal people.
Yes. Right. Well, we love the normal people.
We do.
We honor them for what they're choosing
Preach.
and how we were them and all that. And we
Of
just know
course.
we get to be the example, right, of rising to the new normal and allowing
Of
them to
course.
actually experience that. So.
Of course. And if you guys are tuning in and you're really getting this and you're like, wow, okay, I see how I can start shifting my frequency. I see how I can really bring some awareness to this so that I can raise my vibration and receive more in the world and play a bigger game. Like, if you're really understanding this conversation, then please know this: you can battle it out on your own, and you can do the work every day on your own. Or, you know what, guys, one of the fastest ways to just naturally and organically shift your vibration is to get around people that are at that higher vibration, and honestly, when I look at the last 10 years of my life and all the growth, and 10 years ago, I thought I was going to be an architect. I was at university. I was totally lost. I felt so empty inside. And when I started really waking up and started realizing, wow, there's more out there. Wow, I can actually shift my internal reality to create some bigger external results. Wow, this is so cool. The fastest way out of everything that I did was to get around people who were already nailing it and just be in their presence. Now, I would love to tell you that it was like 10 secrets. They told me it wasn't. It was actually being around their energy. You know what? Like, online like this, like, I know so many of you guys from the love and the comments, you're feeling this now, and you're like, oh, I might not even understand everything these two are saying right now on a conscious level, but I feel it, and I just feel different when I tune into this live stream and this vibration. And guess what? When you do this in person, it just amplifies times 1,000. It really does. Like, when you actually just get to more.
You're a $1 million girl, yes.
Times a million, right? And it's being in someone's presence and having these conversations and going deep, and then having just your natural state come out, and then someone go, well, hang on, you know what? Is that your higher self? What if we were to just upgrade that thought and upgrade that feeling, and boom, boom, boom. This is where the work happens, right? Absolutely. We are who we surround ourselves with. Right. And guys, this is really how this live stream started. Initially, Marci and I were talking the other day, and we were talking about some of these themes, because this is what we do. We just get together and just vibe out on things like this. And there's been so many times
on this stuff.
Right. There's been so many times we've been on the phone, and it's like, oh my God, we should be live streaming right now. It's a little bit selfish to keep this conversation, to ourselves. And we were talking about really, consciously creating a space where people can come in and be totally upgraded and have their frequency shifted and raise their vibration so that they can simply become that next level light, love version of them, and of course receive more in the world. So that's part of what we wanted to talk about. And Marci's like, what are you doing? Because we're not meant to be talking about it yet.
Well, hey, you know me, you and I are like flow with whatever. We're like, cool, whatever we're gonna do. Yes, we just want to play and we want to share.
We do want to play. So maybe, just maybe you guys are the first to hear about this, that maybe we may be holding a live event together. It may be towards the end of this year. It may be a super small, intimate space, and it may be super freaking exciting.
Yeah, some massive. Well, I mean, and it's what you and I both do. It's like what we're super excited about is we take beings and have massive. I mean, I could say the inner work stuff that I do, when I go all around the world, just like you do with retreats, Regan, is people feel like it's like, that's like equates to 20 years of doing inner work the way that society is doing it, or the way that even the industry is doing it. Where like you come out of there and you just shed 20 years of working on the inner game, just like that. Because we can actually align cellular memory, we can do, activations, we can do so many things to cut to the core of these things and how you're operating and have such a different experience. So you and I, of course, are like, well, that's just like our playground. We like that's so much fun for us. And so how many individuals can we bring into this space and be able to, you and I, play together and offer all that value? I'm just excited. This would be awesome.
I know. It's so seriously cool. And so this is for you if you really know that you're here to play a big game. If you know and understand that that you are worthy and deserving of really stepping into this next level. And if you know that you're here to really make an impact in the world, you know, we're not interested in having people in the space that are just looking to, you know, just do stuff for themselves. We're really looking for people that want to ignite their light so they can go out and create a massive change in the world. And of course, receive all of that back as well. But you're interested in that give and receive cycle, and you really are ready to elevate and live into your mission and your purpose in a greater way. And you know that is going to come from within. You know that it's going to come from activations. You know that it's going to come from receiving upgrades. You know that it's going to come from truly stepping into this place where you ground down so deeply into this earth and go, you know what, I'm here. This is why I'm here. And now I'm ready. I'm open and available. And I'm super obedient to what needs to do next, right? Versus looking externally for what are the 10 steps of how I need to set up a Facebook ad or whatever. You know, it's like, it's not that kind of event. This is the event where we go in and we tap into pure magic collectively. And even just sitting in the room and being in the space, you will be upgraded, and you know that at your core, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's really coming to awareness finally, or hopefully we're talking about it enough. I know you and I have talked about it, and it's something that I've been talking about for probably this past year really strongly, which most people aren't even bringing presence to, is all that's available within us. And we talk about there's a presence to what we're going to be going into, which is aligning yourself to the being of who you are, the divinity of who you are, the sovereignness, all of that all things can come through you in that space. That becomes easy, effortless manifestation. And to also take you to a place when you say upgrades, I'm like I mean, I think the stats are like we use less than 5% of our brain power in different things.
Right.
And we've been told that the rest is junk DNA. That's just some bullshit that the, you know, scared little humans are telling you to validate the level of life that you're living. When the truth is, like, all of that DNA is just dormant and waiting to be activated.
Exactly.
Waiting for your capabilities and I'm so excited to go into these things of like seeing the unseen. When you can see what's between the lines of energy and what's between, just like where we can have conversations with people and instantly see everything that's going on, because there's that knowingness and those capabilities that you get to activate. So, I mean, I know it's going to be cray to the full degree.
It will be. It's going to be amazing. So this is us not announcing it, by the way. We're technically not even launching or announcing this yet. So we do want to extend out for those of you who have been here on this conversation, even if you're watching the replay. But if you really get this, and if you are feeling this feeling and you just feel the nudge and the pull, and you just know, you know what, I need to be around these two. I need to be in the room. You may not even know why, but you know you need to be there. Just send us a message and just let us know. Just be like, hey, I saw you live. I need to be there. I don't know why. Maybe you do know why. Maybe you don't. But you probably just are feeling the pull more than anything. Send us a message, and then we can really get you on a list so that you're the first to hear all the details when everything is announced. Yes.
Sounds awesome.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yay.
I'm just
amazing.
So happy, love to be around you. I love you so deeply. I was like, I couldn't wait to play every time, guys. Every time we get to do like a little call, an update, because we both are consistently and continually always expanding. We're always looking at how we get to grow our abilities and how we get to serve greater. So if you watch, and you know, obviously you're following Regan or me, and you've seen where I was just in Europe, she's like everywhere doing retreats. We're all over the world doing these things. And so by the time Regan and I get to talk, there's like so much that has shifted and changed, and abilities that are opened up in frequency, and it just happens so fast. And I remember being in a space and time where it was like, oh, you know, I started to understand how to align my operating systems to operate out of my divinity. And it was like every 6 months, my world was massively different. Then it became like every 3 months. And then it was like every month. And I mean, you could talk to me now on a daily basis. It's like, what? Like, life it's so available for you to create and design whatever it is that you want and whatever you're really seeking. And so, you know, I just want to honor you, darling. It's such a beautiful gift of light for that, and a stand for that, and a truth for that, and standing in just like love and appreciation. You send me these beautiful messages all the time, guys. I'm like, this is what real relationships are. It is out there. It sends me love, you know, and it's like, and we're just so excited to actually chat and hear the awesomeness that each other are up to, and all the abilities that we're expanding into, and all the things that are going on, and how we get to share that even more. So I'm just honored to actually have such a beautiful goddess, you know, to share this space with, and to share all of your abilities, and I love seeing people do it really in truth. Because, you know, a lot of coaches or I've had people apply for my programs, or you hear people, so many people have experienced a lot of mentors or people that, you know, are speaking it, but they're not living it. And
Right.
there's a complete, and this is why you guys can feel a frequency. You can feel something coming from it. And that it's like, first off, truth feels light. Lies feel heavy and they limit you. So truth feels light, and you feel this, like Regan talked about, this excitement, this like essence of like, can it really be true? Can I really have it that easy? Can I really find more of who I am? Yes, you can. And you have the examples right here in front of you. So I love you, darling. I'm super excited to play. I'm so glad you're going to be sitting.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I receive all of that. I receive all of
Yes.
that. And you're so beautiful. And thank you for being you. And thank you for being someone who really commits to doing this inner work. And thank you for being such a light in this world. And thank you for always going in and, you know, shifting your consciousness and your capacity to hold space across the world, you know, from such a beautiful essence, a beautiful essence of truth and from love and from play. That's one of the things I just love about you. It's this element and this vibration of total play instead of, you know, being all serious and having to do the work. It's just total playtime. Like, you guys should see us when we're together. It's like, just, yeah, like bing, ching, like everything, like just like light, love, play explosions everywhere. And it's like anyone who's around us can't help but just fall into that vibe. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm playing, but all this magic is coming in. And it's like, this is how it works, right? So you totally are committed to that, and you just embody that so much. And for me as well, you know, it's so cool to see another amazing woman in this space. I'm just like, yes, like we need more of you. We absolutely do. And so, yeah, thank you so much. You're amazing.
That's what we're calling everybody too. So thank you, love.
Exactly.
We're reflections for each other, and we're reflections for the beautiful beings that are here. So if you guys are feeling that call to more, to finding and aligning to more of your love and light that's already there, then, you know, hopefully, like, again, we didn't even know we're just like talking about how we're going to play. It's like, now it's out there. Message us and we'll at least get you on a list and be able to see what that looks like if it's really a fit. Because I also believe in everyone. It always gets to be a fit. We want it to
absolutely.
We want those individuals to be in the room, to be ready to receive this kind of activation and integration and imprinting and alignment and the upgrades that is available. And it's so easy and it's so fast and so effective, and it's right there for you. So hopefully you guys get to come play with us. I'm just glad we got to play a little bit today. I'm sure we'll be talking soon. Yes.
Totally. If you guys love this conversation, let us know. Just write in the comments below. Did you love it? What did you love about it? What did you really pull from it? We'd love to hear your feedback. And of course, if you want more of this, then let us know as well. We're super inspired by waking people up and having them go, wow, that was amazing. And then that's a cool indicator for us. And we'll keep doing more of it because it's super play and flow and fun for us.
Awesome.
Yay.
Okay, well, thanks for joining, guys. I love you. I'm off to my
amazing.
You love. So we'll talk
soon. Absolutely. I will. Send you guys so much love. Thanks for being on. Mwah, 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 mwah. Ciao, Marci.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.